Hello everyone! Hello travelers and welcome to Map Maven. My name is Ellen and I will be your cartographer this evening. It is a shape challenge day, so we're going to be transforming an unusual shape that exists in real life into a map using Photoshop. As always, we have a handy few tools at our disposal: Roll20, Sirenscape, and of course Photoshop today. These programs are essential to the work we're doing here at Talking XP. They make all of our streams possible. Roll20 is the ideal platform for sharing maps with your party and running games online. Once you have your campaign set up on Roll20, all you're going to need is some audio to complete that ambiance. That's where Sirenscape comes in. With a click, you can conjure immersive environments and sound effects. For example, let's step back from this busy dockside environment and move into the sanctity of the Map Maven's cartography shop, where it's just a little bit calmer. Isn't that nice? So, we're also going to be using Photoshop today, and we're going to be using brushes by Star Raven. You can find them on DeviantArt. Their link to their DeviantArt is also going to be available in the VOD on YouTube, so you can check it out there if you're interested in using any of the brushes we have today. As will all of the links for all of our sponsors will be there. Now that you've got those tools in hand, let's go ahead and make a map. Please chime in on chat. I do watch and I would love to say hi to you if you're there. I always love the company. So, what are we doing today, everybody? What are we doing today? Today, we're going to be doing the shape change challenge, as I said. And I thought for fun to do our first shape change, let's be real online about it. We're going to be doing a meme map. And it is about as dorky as it sounds. Basically, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a meme. We've all heard of them, we know them, we love them, and we're going to be taking the image of that meme and somehow turning it into a map in Photoshop. I'm really excited to see how this turns out. I'm interested to see how much of the meme stays recognizable from the original format. We'll see. So let's go ahead and get started. I do already have a couple memes picked out. So the memes we're going to be working with today, I have two different ones, and I'm not sure if we're going to get to both of them. But the one I am going to start with is an all-time classic and a really fun shape that I think is a great, it's a good inspiration. I think it's got some nice movement to it. The classic. The other girl, or I don't know what you call this, the distracted boyfriend, I think is the term, distracted boyfriend meme. So we're going to be taking the distracted boyfriend meme and we're going to turn this into a map. Let's just break down what we're looking at here though first. Let's see if it'll do it for us. Let's make that as big as possible so we really have the full space. So my instinct is I want to take the shapes of the people, and turn those into the land masses, and then everything else would be the water. I also am thinking I want this to be how do I put it? I want it to be more of like a region map. I want it to be a regional map as opposed to a whole continent spanning map. So I think that's what we're going to go with. I'm going to start off by going ahead and we're got to start messing with the image. I always love this. My favorite thing about this meme is that there's also, this is not the only photo. There's a series of photos in this collection where it was like the same three people in different contrived relationship shenanigans, where it's some of them it was her, the woman in blue, like looking at a man, that the woman, the man in the shirt, the man in the shirt, the guy wasn't happy about, and then there's twisted ones where it's like he's proposing to her. It's a real saga, and if you ever have a moment, I definitely recommend looking into it. Let's go ahead and duplicate this layer so we can start manipulating it. And I'm going to go ahead and toggle this one off, and I'm going to put it at the top. So we just remember that that's there. We're going to keep that as our base one. I'm going to lock this one just so we don't accidentally edit it. I'll lock my little welcome sign too so we don't edit that either. Okay, so this is our thing. Now, take a look here. What just happens if we start, we're on the wrong layer. It's selecting the wrong thing. What happens if we start, okay. So it's not like doing a clean select of anything. So we'll have to like go through and segment and select these things. I like the idea of leaving it face up so it's as recognizable as possible. I was thinking about, you know, should I flip it over? But then it's going to start looking like something completely different. But it almost reminds me of like, I mean, it would have to be like a coastal, like maybe like a series of peninsulas leading off into like a large lake or an ocean. Let's just get our selection tool. Quick selection, let's have it on the additive one. Make it a little bit bigger. Start getting in here. Oh, it selected the whole woman. That's okay. Let's maybe we select and then we go through and deselect as we go. Let me switch to the other one. There she comes back. She's gonna be a little hard because she's so blurry. Of course, got to get our little man friend in here. Her arm. I mean, that's a pretty clean selection, at least for that. So let's go ahead and I want to kind of just select the inverse. So I want to have them selected. And I want to go ahead and just fill that in. Brush tool, fill that in right. Yeah. There we go. Even bigger. Fill that in white, and we'll fix this stuff at the bottom that's looking a little funky. Just painting away. I think we'll end up using like the features of them to create the terrain as well. So I'm interested to see how creative we can get with wild filters on that. Oh, it missed a bit of his collar. I didn't see that. Arm. I guess we'd probably connect back down there. I'm really interested to see how we figure out, like, this is already starting to look vaguely just rough organic shapes. There's that little guy so we can see. That one, make sure we got everything. Okay, and then I'm going to just deselect, fill in a couple gaps here. Also, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the opacity on this. Do I want to lower the opacity on that one? Oh, you know what? I just realized I'm coloring on the actual layer. This is why we kept a copy, so we can remember what we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and just reselect all of this, because I did not mean to color on this layer, but you know what? It's okay. It's easy to fix, because we just shift, and then we can layer via copy. I'm just going to delete that layer. Yes. I'm going to duplicate this one again. Okay. So now I want to take that one, make it invisible. And I want to lower the opacity of this. They're peeking through. They're emerging from the mists. And I want to go through and just, as much as I can, I want it to be pretty accurate to the shape of the meme as much as possible. Let's take down the hardness a little bit. Well, probably would actually look better with a nicer hardness. I don't know how far off map they go like that, but we assume, you know, probably follows that shape pretty closely. Okay, now let's go ahead and get our brush tool back. Maybe a little bit smaller. Yeah, that's all right. Zoom in and really touch up these. Though that is kind of a nice shape that it's... Huh. Maybe I don't want to... Well, it looks a little bit geometrical, doesn't it? It doesn't really look islandy. Maybe we won't tidy it up too much. We'll just make sure that, like, for instance here, I want to make sure we get her whole shoulder, because it kind of cut her off. It trimmed her down a little bit. Here, maybe a little bit too. But I kind of like the roughness of it because it looks a little bit more, I don't know, not geometrical. It looks more organic. It looks more like, it almost does look like a rough coastline. I'll just get rid of the sums where it's a little bit too digital looking. So if we can get rid of some of that hair. A little bit bigger. Because I feel like it's not really following the true shape of his head. There, that's a bit better. I'll fill in his mouth a little bit more. So we really get that little pursed lip. I'll make this smaller because I want to fill in that chin. Yeah, so we really see the little puckered lips. Ooh, she look nice. I would love to know what the possible conversation could be after this. I mean, I guess it's just like the obvious conversation of like, were you looking at her? And him being like, oh, no, of course not. But I wonder, I feel like it's just such like a blatant him looking at her. I feel like, you know, is this the first time this happened? How long has Woman in Blue been putting up with this, you know? I really feel bad for her. Let's go ahead and, I feel like this, I like the idea of including this little hair, but I feel like most of this area would be empty. And then there'd be like another, maybe it's a road or something. We'll figure that out when we get to it, but there's such a thin little strand of hair there. I wonder what it's like to be these people. Do you think they get recognized a lot? I imagine they must get recognized. I mean, I feel like she's pretty distinctive. Like, she has a very distinctive face. Her nose has like a really cute little upturn to it. I feel like I'd probably recognize her, or at least if I saw her in public, I'd be like, squinting, waiting for a moment of like, how do we know each other? I'm gonna get the detail of that hair. Okay. So I think those shapes are roughly in. You know what? I want to go back in and mess with his hair a little bit because we got rid of some of the detail up here. Because it's really more like that kind of shape. Bows out. Kind of, you know, now I'm looking at it, he's got a little bit of a pointy head. When I look at it in this way. It's a lot. This is for sure going to be some sort of like, I don't know, sand dunes or something. Okay. Let's zoom out. So we have this. Let's see what happens when we drop this into our land overlay. Oh, gosh, where'd that happen? That's not supposed to be there. Oh, it probably just auto-selected that white area. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Goodbye. Once you silhouette them, it really does stop looking like people. I mean, it kind of looks like people when you zoom out, but it really kind of, if you just told me it was a random landmass, I'd believe you. It's still so obviously that meme, though. I love it. That's exactly what I wanted it to be. Okay. So let's see what happens when we drop this layer into our land filter. Ooh, this is going to look cool. See, it automatically gets the outline on it. That's so funny. It looks exactly like it. Okay. Okay, but I do think this feels like enough like land. Like, I imagine this area here is some sort of like the mouth of a very large river that's separating it from these two areas of land. Oh my gosh. It's so silly. Which one of these layers? Color overlay. outer glow. Why is it doing that glow on the inside? Let me see. I think it's okay. Kind of wish the land was a little bit brighter. It almost looks like it's kind of like muted out a little bit. Wonder why that's happening. Maybe it's because the actual object was white instead of black? Let me see what happens. If it's, okay, I got it. Normal, color overlay, lighten. What happens if I make it black instead? Black coloration instead of white. Will it look better that way? No, it does not make a difference. Huh. Just looks kind of, I don't know, sort of tan to me in a like a less vibrant way than it usually is. That's a little bit better. I'll do that even more. Bring that up to like here. I'll adjust later. It's a little bit orange. Nah, why? Why do I say I'll adjust later? I'll just adjust it now. Maybe like that. I like it looking very sandy. That's better. Okay. Okay. So now I want to bring this guy back in and lower that opacity as much as possible. Oop. Lowering the opacity on the wrong thing. It's very funny to see them like that. Okay. So if we look at this almost like our biome map that we sometimes use, where we have like the color mapping we do to figure out where the different like terrains are. If I go with just like basic color language here, we've got one real hot place and then one cooler place. This would also be kind of cool though because it's blues. Check patterns. And then like we could use the ridges of the face to make mountains too. Okay. I'm thinking about it. Okay. I feel like this for sure feels like a large, just because it feels like it's coming toward me. I feel like that's got to be like a large mountain range. Okay, so let's start messing with, not those, our natural landmarks. We're always going to start with our mountain, so let's grab that. Let's go ahead and get some of these raven brushes going. Sharp hills. Yeah, because he's got like... This arm definitely feels like the biggest thing coming at us, so I want that to be like a mountain range. Yeah. That's his shoulder. And then we'll take this one. Ooh, much too small. So like 350 or something. Slightly smaller, the same thing. No, like 200. Maybe it might at 300. It's a little bit smaller, but the same thing. I'm actually going to twist it too, just to give it a slightly different feel. I feel like that was too much. What just happened? Ah, my whole thing went too big. There we go. Too tilted on that one, so that one looks good. Back up to 3. It's getting a a little skinnier down by the wrist. That will just take it all the way off the map. Should I just do the same one again because I feel like it'll fit together a little bit better. Cool. Okay, I feel like I definitely want to like fill in there with something else. And then her arm is coming at us, so it's also got like the same thing. So let's go ahead and grab that. I want to do the other one though. That point to the shoulder. It's too close together. Too similar. Too big. And that keeps trailing off that way. Nice. Okay, so we have those. Her like face is really the only thing that's like super coming out us on her. So I'll probably add some like smaller ones into the face. I would imagine like almost like hills more, or like smaller mountains. This is definitely like a lowlands because it's so far away from us. I feel like he needs another like big old hill right here. Maybe we get the single sharp hill. Yeah. That makes it look like he's got a pauldron almost. I don't mind him having a pauldron. Like that. Cool. Okay. Working in littler hills for the face. I think definitely like the noses would be a smaller. This freaking face. Like it actually might be, I don't know if that's too small. For the scale we've established, it might not work. Definitely gonna have little kissy lips or something. And his nose should be, oh, or maybe it's like a, I'll leave the lips. I don't know what I'm gonna have the lips be. I feel like there definitely have to be a thing. Those also needed. His hair needs to be something that's not just a mountain too. And we'll kind of connect these with our other hills. Almost looks like it's his beard. Well, you know what the hair would probably be is like forests. So it'd be like hairy areas or like all the forest stuff. I guess the shirts then. What's the shirts? Hills. That, I think his ears are going to be more like hills. Because it's not like super rounded. It's not like really jutting out from the face, but it's definitely like just on the ridges of it. And then there'd probably be like a big lake right there. So like the idea of like that maybe coming out that way. Showing off the shape of the nose. Let's get like one sharp hill right here. smaller. Okay, okay. It's kind of like showing off his cheekbone, really. That looks very silly. Okay, let's do her face. Let's see how we can figure this out. I feel like her nose definitely needs to be like a lone mountain. Let's take this one. Is that the really sharp one? No, that one. A little upturned nose. Upturned nose of defeat and despair. She's got her chin. Chin is not as, you know, it's not jutting out quite as much, so I think I will make these more like low hills. This is very silly what I'm doing. Okay. Couple maybe hills connecting up this way, just like leading away from that nose. Little chin, earlobe. I could keep adding accents, but let's go over to her face first. The only rise we have is like the front of her chest, like is like moving towards us, and her face, obviously. So I feel like maybe there's like a wide mountain range, like extending off this way. Make that not so big. Maybe like 200. I think just kind of try and fill. Nah, let's make it bigger than that. 300. Just kind of filling off this way on the map. Come on, go up there. In a weird way, it gives a very like Titans of Nature-esque vibe. These people are enormous giants on which their body, the world grew. I wonder how far you could get into a campaign before your players notice you just used a meme to make your map. Probably not that far. I'd imagine they'd catch on pretty quick. Right there. And then her face. Got her nose. She has a nice nose. See, this woman, I would not be surprised if I didn't recognize her. She has like a very clean look. Like, I don't know if there's any like individual feature she has that would jump out at me on the street, as opposed to like the woman in blue has like the very like particular upturned nose that I feel like I would recognize pretty quickly. Let's go ahead and give her like some hip little lips. Can't really see the top lip, so I'm just going to do the bottom lip and kind of flesh it out this way. Can't kind of see her cheekbones, so maybe just boop, boop, boop. That's cute. And then maybe a couple more mountains here. Let's tilt them up. That makes her have a very odd expression if I do that. It's almost tilted the other way. And then a couple little, maybe a hill or two heading this way. Maybe a small mountains. She has her chin too, so I feel like the chin would also be like a mountain range, but a smaller one. Maybe not that much. Like there? Okay. also harder because she's blurry, so you can't make as many details out of her even on the original image. Okay, I'm not unconvinced. Okay, kind of want more of this ridge to follow his chin line up. I feel like that's got to be like a magical area on the map. Okay, so we have the mountains. Let's go through, and I gotta clean the mountains up first. Let's see what it looks like without that. No, I don't want to see what it looks like without the background image, because I feel like that'll be a cool thing to see at the end, is like how it all came together. Let's go ahead and get our round brush. I think most of these are okay. You know, I might even leave them. I don't know if I need to go through and carve them all up, but I think this one got a little blurry, this mountain over here. Let me go reshape this mountain so it's a little bit crisper. I love watching it, almost like it ripples into place as you fill it in. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, that's as much of that as I want to do. Now, I feel like this is like some sort of crevasse down here. Like there's like a huge like trench where on like the sides of the armor, especially like this area where it's so dark. I'm gonna fill this part in more with mountains because I feel like that makes sense. But maybe more like 200 instead of all the way up to 300, which I think these other ones were. Just to fill in that range a little bit more. Smaller. It's very dense right there, but I'm not mad about it. It's almost like these cliffs come up to this very deep trench then. Okay. Now we would usually add in water, rivers, and lakes. So let's start filling in some different areas of lakes and water and such. So I feel like the eyes, I like the idea of the eyes being little lakes. I like the idea of that being a lake. Do you feel like maybe that's like a river or something coming from his mouth? Make it even smaller. Can't really see her eyes too well, so we'll just indicate almost out the like shadow of them. This poor woman. I really got to figure out what I want to do with their shirts, because if I say their hair is like a forest, I'll have to just keep detailing it in until I'm happy with whatever that is. Give her mouth being a little like too. Keep that more subtle. Oh, that looks like she's frowning. She's not frowning in the photo. Get more like this. Like that shape. So we have this big river delta here. We have this huge lake, that huge lake. I'll probably actually go through and I don't know if I really need to fill that in, because it's kind of implied that it's water already. It's just cutting through to the back side of the map. Maybe at this point, now that we've got these like major features, let's do our forests and then keep going through and like add in more rivers. Because at a certain point, I think we kind of stop trying to mimic the shape and just start making it whatever we want it to look like. I like the idea of his hair being pine because it's so spiky. Imagine, and that I associate with pine trees. He's got a little bit of scruff all over, so I should probably make all of this as scruffy. I feel like her hair, let's make it more, let's make it like a mixed tree maybe. More like wild trees. I don't think our interpretations and feelings about the idea of Mother Nature would be quite the same if she was like posed as like a meme, one of these meme ladies. Let's come in a little bit around the face. I might have to do that with individual trees to like fill in those gaps. I can't tell what I want to happen more, if I want it to just look absolutely nothing like a map, or if I want it to look weirdly exactly like a map and you couldn't tell the difference, that it was like made out of a meme. Okay, what do I want to hurt? I've already got pine trees. Do I just want to do, what are these tree blocks? Oh, that's this kind. That's like the non-mixed trees. Do the non-mixed trees for her. I feel like this shape change challenge of doing just truly weird stuff, like making a map out of a meme, that's just, you know, this is just proof that inspiration, it's everywhere, you know? You can find a map in whatever you want to find a map in. And it doesn't matter if it's not exactly what you would have expected it to be. So select, where is it? My little eyes. Work the way I wanted it to. I want to select, deselect. select all of the land masses so that I can just easily delete anything that's not on land. Where'd my meme go? Where'd my meme go? Here it is. Okay. And then select inverse. I could just hit delete. But on my tree level, actually, there we go. They all just got a real quick trim. Now I can go in and begin removing the trees that I don't want. The trees that aren't quite on land. And also the stuff that's going beyond the borders of the forest that I've picked out for myself here. I want to raise the opacity on this a little bit. There we go. Okay, that's way better. So we can tell it's actually like way further over. It's taking out like all of those. So there's a little bit of a slope to her neck, as everyone's neck has like that, your clavicle slope, your deltoids, right? Is that what they're called? Traps? No, your traps. The traps sort of slope off here. Probably take out this whole line along her cheekbone. Okay. I feel like that follows pretty well up to her ear. This is definitely way overlapping. Probably going to take out all of that. I might add more in because she has her eyebrows and stuff, but let's trim that back so it looks a little bit more natural, so it's less of a hard line. So I need to go through and get some of these guys off the coast because they're just getting cut off and they don't look good. All right, cover that with another tree. I'll go back in with some trees and add some stuff in to fill some of these gaps that are being left. That's her forehead, so I don't want any of these. Yeah, I definitely want to go in and refill that in a little bit because it's getting a little sparse over there. But I'll go through and finish erasing first. I don't know why. I was just on a spree. I don't know why I erased that tree. That's fine. Fate decided he should be gone. Getting rid of some trees. It's very zen. I feel like the most zen I ever am while making maps is actually erasing stuff. I just find it very calming. Coming up the other way. Up along her cheekbone. And her neck. I feel like that's going this way. What just happened on there? Oh, it says the broadcast I was watching has ended. That doesn't make sense. I don't know if you can still see me. It says I'm still live. Huh. Strange. I don't know if you're still there, but I'm going to keep going. Maybe my phone just failed to stay connected to it for some reason. We gotta get rid of all of this. We don't need any of that. Goodbye, trees. I feel like the way this is currently going, this is definitely just going to end up looking like people made out of islands, which I'm not mad about it. I think that's funny. Okay, yeah, that is super effective. Okay. Let's go ahead and get rid of some of these guys. Working on this absolute mad lad here. So overt. Like, it's not wild that he like, I'm not saying if you got a honey, maybe don't be looking at other honeys, but the boldness of this man to just be staring is really what for me makes him such an icon. Because he's not doing it in any sort of subtle way. He's like doing a face. He's turned around while holding his actual partner's hand. And it's just, that is the actions of a man who has no fear. And you have to admire that at a certain point, just the absolute, just the gall of some people. It's another one of my favorite parts when I get to erase stuff off in the mountains and it looks like the mountains are like coming up for air after being covered up. It just makes them look so clean. It's like they're getting a little bath. Okay, goodbye pines. I'm gonna get rid of some of you because you're sinking into the ocean. I'll leave that one. Get rid of that one. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get rid of that one too. Because this is really for the mustache, I guess. So really I don't need this one either or that one. Probably get rid of this guy. I like the idea of it maybe just being that upper set of trees, so I'd get rid of this one too. Because that is his lip. Really just be like these couple. So I'm gonna get rid of that one. A little patch of trees. I do feel like, ironically, my choice of doing like, oh, I'm gonna do meme maps, like really exposes me for the internet rube that I am. Of like, what's an internet thing? Memes? Let's do memes. But once I thought of the idea, I'm like, that, gosh darn it, that sounds charming. And I like the idea of doing meme maps. So I'm gonna do it. Because I was thinking about, I could do a lot. There was a lot of different options for things I could have used to turn into maps today. And I was like, memes seem like a good choice, though. Because everyone loves a meme. I've yet to meet a person who was, you know, staunchly anti-meme. Probably because those people would be maniacs and a danger to society. If you're anti-meme, I mean you. Not really. There are some memes, I don't know if you guys get into the real alternative meme culture. There's some weird stuff down there where it doesn't make just a lick of sense. You get some real weird where it's, you know, it's several references deep into something you don't understand, and all you get is like a half-baked combination of characters from multiple different forms of media being thrown into a situation that makes no sense, and they're referencing lines from something else. And ugh. The ones that really get me is where it's like the memes that aren't a reference to anything, and it's just funny because of how it makes just the fact they make no sense. The ones where and you will show these memes to people, you'll see people laughing at these memes. The experience I have a lot is people will show me like a meme that they are head over heels laughing so hard at, and I just have no idea. And it feels like it has to be a reference to something, but it's not. It's not a reference to anything. It's just a monkey in a top hat that the government for some reason wants shot on sight, and that's a meme. That meme exists. It's literally a government. It's little monkey in a little suit, and it just says the government wants him killed on sight, and there's no reason. I don't know what this monkey did. There's no story. It just leaves me baffled. I feel like there will be an age of future historians who are uncovering all these non-Euclidean images and just trying to decipher what they could possibly be a reference to, the way we used to in history class when we had like the the historical political cartoons that we would have to decipher. But the answer is that they mean nothing. And that, I feel like, is so delightful to consider, that there's going to be possible future historians trying to make heads or tails of distracted boyfriend. I mean, this one is honestly a very entry-level meme. Like, this is meme 101. If you can't get behind what's going on in this meme, if you can't decipher this, oh boy. You know, memes, maybe they're not for you. Maybe stay on the bunny slopes for now. Because you don't want to get too deep in, and then you're looking at wild ass combinations of images that are just breaking every part of your brain. But this one, pretty straightforward. Guy on the arm of one woman, looking at another woman. He's got this ridiculous face on. It's clearly a situation. It's relatable, you know. That looks all right. I think I'm going to definitely add more trees back in on this. Let's get over to our scorned woman over here. Our absolutely perfectly offended woman. Carve away some of this forest. Zoom in even a little bit more here. I like these ones where I can kind of trim it so it leaves half of the tree in that little cluster. Don't have to get rid of all of them. Don't need that one. trying to brainstorm, like, because obviously I love posting the maps after the stream, once it's all up on the YouTubes and such. And obviously I'm going to do something where it's like in the meme format, but on the map. But I gotta think of a good prompt of it. I'm thinking something about, like, you know, Woman in Blue is like making maps, or I don't know, making other lore, or I don't know what it is. Being normal on the internet, making memes into maps, and that's gonna be the Woman in Red, and then obviously Map Maven is gonna be the fella who's looking the wrong way. But I'll have to keep brainstorming, and you'll have to see what the finished result. You probably already saw it if you're at this video. It's either going to be like the thumbnail or somewhere on Twitter. So let me know if it's funny, if I did a good job. Probably get like a nice writer's room together to make sure it's really, really, really crack stuff. So I try to be on the forefront of comedy here at Talking XP, and especially here on Map Maven, we really are the comedy center of this stream. We recruit straight out of UCB. That little tree is unfortunately poorly placed. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and go back in and add in some trees. Oh, wait, we got some up on the neck here. We don't want that. You know, it'd be really weird if we finished doing this and we pull back out and it just looks like a perfect map of Italy or something, and we had no idea that Italy is actually just distracted boyfriend meme in disguise. Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and get in here with our brush tool and our individual trees. Where are you at, individual trees? Jungle tree, jungle tree, jungle tree. I just want like our basic trees. Pine, marsh, trees. Nice. Okay, I'm just going to get a little one wide. So I feel like we're going to be placing these pretty... Ooh, that's an eraser. We don't need to be erasing trees with a tree. Okay. There we go. Getting back up this coast here, filling in any huge gaps. I do love using the shape of like a monster as inspiration for a world. Like if you've ever seen one of those maps where it uses like a dragon skeleton or clearly like a dead titan of some kind, and that's what the world is on. I find that very cool. I think that's, you know, especially if it actually ties into the lore of like some ancient dead dragon lived here. One of my favorite world building things I did in one of my homebrewed worlds was there was an archipelago where all dragonborn in that world were originally from, and basically the first ever dragon, the god of dragons, in the world it was called Ao, but he was very similar to like the god before Bahamut, like the god that Tiamat and Bahamut split from, and in the Faerunian mythology. And it was essentially like in the big battle where he fought the All-Father, the god, the originator of all giant kind. When they were slain, they like fell into the ocean and became this archipelago that all dragonborn were born from. And depending what part of the archipelago you were born from, that kind of aligned with what kind of dragonborn you were. So if you were from near like the stomach, you are a black dragonborn or a bronze, I think it's bronze and black that are like acid dragonborn, because it was like growing from within like the actual acidic stomach of this over dragon. And I thought that was cool. And then like the heart is where all the fire dragons were. It was a fun concept. I liked it. I just think it's very inspirational to have a really strong concept like that. I mean, it's magical creatures. Why can't they be living on the corpse of their originator god? She had a bunch of gaps I needed to fill in. She had a lot of little thin areas on her face with the hair. And also these little spits of hair that went down this way. Little forested coastline. I might go in and change one of these out. Because it looks, you know what, we're erasing with the tree, that's okay, but it looked too uniform. I feel like a little bit smaller. So it's not hanging off into the wrong one. There we go. It's not hanging off into nothingness. There we go. That's a little bit better. And then there's some down here. I think that's also her hair. I'll just put a couple little guys on there. Do that one. Even smaller probably. It's a very small little area of land. That's cute. Okay. Well, now they are well forested. I feel like this has got to be some sort of like lava flats, maybe. And then that's some sort of crevasse. I'm going to go in and start filling this in as a crevasse because I know I want it to be one. I'm going to go ahead and start doing that, figuring out how I want to illustrate that. Let's get to, I think, this flat brush a little bit bigger. Let's face it this way. A little bit more up. There we go. I think it would be smaller too, maybe. We're actually going to put this on another level, I think. So let's duplicate. Let's just make a new level for ourselves. There we are. And I'm going to copy these effects. And then paste it. There we go. So it's now on a different layer. There we go. I want to turn it the other way. It's kind of lining up with these like rips, not rips, but like folds in the shirt. It's like this big spidering crack. Maybe it does come all the way out here. It's like a big Grand Canyon almost. Start coming down this way too. I feel like tilt it back here. A general shape. Now I did a crevasse before, and I don't know if I was super convinced by the way I did it. So I think I'm going to shrink this down, and also I think I'll make it like an eraser actually. Shrink it down, kind of shave up into this really spiky outlining. Maybe, you know what, I've tried erasing it. Let me just go ahead and fill in the whole thing first, and I'll grab the round tool for this. A little bit bigger than that. That's a little too small. fill in this whole area. Zooming in might be helpful. Oh, you know, I'll probably have to change the bevel and emboss effect because it also, the bevel and emboss makes it seem like it's coming towards us. Just get this filled in for now, and then I'll mess with changing that perspective. Looks like ink pooling together. Okay, so now that we've got, ooh, that looks like a wild thing. Okay, bevel and emboss, we want it to go down. I want it to be like way deeper. What if we make it like really deep? Inner emboss, going down. Don't want it to be so rough. I want it to be pretty harsh. I feel like a big part of it has got to be like making this actually dark, and then maybe the upper part is more like a gray. Changing the direction of the light. Oop, not change the direction of all the light. Well, maybe that's just the direction the light's coming from now. What does this look like? I think that's okay to get started with. We'll probably adjust that as we go. Let's see. I like the idea of, we're gonna add some like, let's get some of these background stuff, these marsh blocks. Come on, just like the grassland ones. Guess this one looks okay. Okay, yeah, that's what I want. Let's make that smaller. So close to her face right now. Let's go on to a grassland layer. eyebrows a little bushier than they are in reality, because I think that way you can actually see the little grasslands. There's a little scruff. Coming down here with the little scruff. I feel very meditative today. Sometimes I'm just in a meditative mood. Fill that in. Okay. Go through that eraser brush. Maybe we change over the music to some nice outside nature. Hardly see that green against the water. So pixelated when you're close up. It's okay. When you zoom out, it does not look that way. Okay, so we have all those shapes in now. Now I want to start making some broad strokes with, I think, rivers. Let's just start getting some rivers in there to outline some stuff that we like. The idea of doing that with my big old round brush. And we can taper it as we go. Let's make it 30. We can follow some of these lines that we see in the shape of the thing, in the shape of the image. Leading that off to the water. The one thing about this is, like, some of these are gonna look really symmetrical. Just given the nature of, like, she's facing us straight on, so it's gonna look a little symmetrical. I'm gonna adjust my microphone real quick. I apologize if I get too quiet. Hello. There I am. Okay, you can still hear me, it seems like. I don't think it makes sense for a river to be running this way. But maybe it's running, like, here, along that area. Following these different lines of the face. Get rid of that one going out through the hair. actually. Maybe it comes this way. This sort of scoops up from around the ear. Maybe I'll make it smaller. Make that brush a little bit tinier. Let's bring it down. Yeah, like right about there. Pooling up around the, right around there. In the shape of the ear. I want to fill this in more, actually. There's that whole shaded area of the eye. This whole shape, too. I think there could be another right there. Definitely want something along this ridgeline. I like the idea of it almost cuts off the entire way. Almost like the Panama Canal. And then we'll have maybe one heading this way through the mountains. Coming down the other side of this arm. Just running off the map back up that way. But we should probably have this come all the way up there, shouldn't we? As it continues. Maybe this is another one. Following the curve of the shirt. Along the wrist. Connecting there. See, it splits. Yeah, I like that. Weird series of rivers connecting all over the place. She looks so devastated. I'm actually going to make this an even bigger eye. Nope, this is like a very strong line right there that I'm going to have come down. Now it's starting to look like an interesting graphical representation of the same thing. We're running between those two. Show that line of the face. Okay. I was thinking this is some sort of like wasteland. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and actually use my little biomes layer here to paint over the meme so that I'm not still keeping the meme in the background once I actually, you know, I'm exporting it. I do want to remove that. So I'll just, that's probably a good size. And I'm just gonna go through and do some painting. Let's color select it from what she's wearing actually. Let's go to the actual color. So silly seeing the meme. Okay, let's color select from her actual shirt. Okay, get rid of that. And then back down to our biome layer. Where are we? There we are. So this whole area. It's gonna be very soft, but once we get rid of the background image, it'll be more clear what's going on there. Yeah. Just giving it a nice rosy undertone to indicate this is like the burning wastes. Okay. So that's that one. Now let's do him. Color color select from here. This really dark blue. Well, I don't want it to look like water, do I? Because if it's too blue, it's just going to look like the water. So maybe it goes more in this blackish gray. Okay, okay. Back down to my biome layer. Start filling that in. This one's even harder to see. I might actually go ahead and lower this opacity even more. So I'm not worried about seeing it while I do this. Filling in this whole area. To erase it off of her arm. And his arm, since obviously it's not there. Make this a little bit bigger. Then her, I'm going to make it almost like a polar blue, I think, because she's wearing such a white blue color. Go here, grab my selection tool, like right here. A little paler than that. Yeah. Get rid of that guy, back down to my biomes. Oh, it wouldn't be on the arm though, because she's wearing, it's like a sleeveless shirt. So I'll go through and erase that in a minute. Some of that hanging stuff off. Should probably go through and clean up these rivers too, since those are overhanging a bit. Some places they're sticking right out into the ocean, so it doesn't look quite how I'd want. Got rid of too much. There we go. Up here. Okay. So now that we've got that, let's put some actual like features on here. If it's like maybe it's more desertous. So it's got some shrub. We can do towns too. I hadn't even considered that we can do towns. This makes so many more possibilities. Okay. Kind of like the idea. Ooh, that's very big. Maybe I just grab little grasses individually. Nah, that's gonna be too difficult. Let's do this. Do it a little bit bigger. And then we'll just erase selectively, and we'll put this on the chaparral layer since it's supposed to be like kind of desert. Of course, we did it as an eraser. It's okay. We can fix it. Sometimes my little hand slips, and that's okay. Okay, I think there would be some moving up into these mountains, so I will place a couple in here as well. I'll just go ahead and I'll erase the stuff we don't need. There we go. Let's go ahead and get rid of most of this stuff. Zoom in on the mountains. Clearing away the stuff on the mountains. Now I just don't want so much of this stuff, so I think I'm going to go through and just selectively erase some of these tufts of grass to make it more sparse. Sparser? More sparse? Not sure which one of those is correct. One of the hardest things I find, I mean, it's not hard to depict, but I feel like deserts, when you think of them on a map, like it's just the kind of the color of the rest of the map. So I always end up adding in like sand dunes or these like sparse grasslands to indicate that it's like, you know, dry. There's, you know, cacti possibly, desert shrub in the area. Because theoretically, maybe the most accurate representation of them is that it would be blank in that area. It would just be the plain background map color. Even though I know deserts are an incredibly diverse biome. If, for instance, like if this is a desert and it has stuff on it and this doesn't have anything on it, this should have stuff on it, right? Because theoretically, whatever is outside, you know, if it's not a desert, it's got more plant life, most likely. But it's too much to fill in the whole map. Nice. Okay. What about him? I still cannot parse out what I want to do with this plaid shirt. Like what I did with the crevasses. I almost feel like it would need to be like... because it's dark. I almost imagine it's like... is it like farmland? Is that what makes sense? Because it's like plowed? But how would I represent that? I feel like this is ice. Like an icy tundra, maybe. Maybe this is just... Icy tundra. I'll start with the icy tundra and I'll figure out what I'm going to do next. Okay, so if this is some sort of glacier, it would have no plant life, certainly. But it would definitely have maybe some hills? Sharp hills to indicate that there's like ice dunes or something. Shifting ice dunes. It almost needs to be more of like a texture on top of it. They do have some like dripping water textures. So maybe it's more in that solution. Water texture surface, so if I did this. Ooh, cannot see that. Oh, because I did it with the eraser tool. I'll do a new layer for this. There's a ragged line, wear and tear. Ooh, okay. That kind of works for me. That looks like weird and icy. Huh, okay. Let me start over fresh so I know what I'm looking at now. And I will go ahead and maybe make this brush extra big, since it looks like as you layer it, it starts to add in more texture. Ooh. Go ahead and add one more stroke of that down there. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, let me make it even bigger on this side. So it's almost like flashing neon. Now I'll go through and erase. Let me just grab the eraser tool actually. Does not want me to zoom in. Don't want that one anyway, actually. I want that one. Back from the edge of the river. Maybe it's like a warm running river that's like keeping the glacier back from the mountains. Erase a little bit too much. Edit, undo. I love this wear effect it has. It's a nice brush. The edge here. Though this could overlap on the water a little bit. I like the idea of it matching the shape more. I think it's funnier if it looks the exact outline of the meme. I can't imagine why I'm putting so much effort on something so silly. I imagine whatever plot you run on this series of peninsulas has to just always be like romantic intrigue and betrayal. Like the main centerpiece plot is like the king has betrayed his wife by flirting with another woman. That's like the main hook for the entire adventure. I didn't think a lick about what I was gonna do with these. With this dark plaid pattern. Shoot. I wonder if I could do... I do like the idea, maybe I do this wear. I have not used this wear brush before, the wear, almost like werewolf. What happens if I do, new layer? No, not new group. New layer. Cannot see what it is doing. Oh, it's like changing size. That's so interesting. Okay. I cannot see what that's doing. So let me try ragged line, see what happens. Is it because I'm in the eraser tool? It's because we're in the eraser tool. Oh boy. Okay. Let's see what happens now. 1 point. Ooh. Oh. That almost looks like snow. Okay. Let's see what happens with the ragged line. Just kind of a line. Okay, so let's get rid of that. I like the idea of using this one actually over here. to kind of muddle up this to make it look like a snowy wasteland. That was the where. Let's leave it. Let's leave it. That's too small. But if we make it here, ooh. Might be too much. Brush, undo brush, undo brush. Let's take it down to like 20. It does kind of look like snowy buildup, which I like. Helps break up those like straight lines. Go in and erase stuff we don't need. Of course, not in that brush. Let's take down that hardness. This is cool. I'm going to definitely start using this brush for more stuff. It gives it a very mystical effect. I wonder if I could make it... I'm sure I can make it other colors. Because right now I'm painting it in like this white blue. If I made it red, I wonder what it would look like on the other one. Make it look like pockmarked. New layer. All of these layers are going to be a mess. I'm not following the cardinal rule. That's okay. Let's take it to... Let's take this one even lower. Let's take it like 10. 9. Sure, 9 is fine. And let's make this one a really awful, like, burnt red look. I'll take that kind of through this whole area. That's too angular. Gotta be bigger than that. Let's take it up to 20. We were right before. Oof. Again, I'm not sure I like that. Edit, undo. Make it bigger. 40. Yeah. We'll put this underneath our mountains. We'll move this way down. Go on. Oof, that looks gross. Okay, I think I'll also lower the opacity of that. Yeah, it almost looks charred. Okay, let me do a color overlay on that so I can keep futzing with the color. Color overlay. Let's do it like black. Let's see what it looks like if it's black. Looks disgusting. Okay. Normal. Let's go to... So if it's just bright red. No. This looks a little diseased like that. It does look kind of like dry, parched land. I kind of like it. Okay, let's keep it with that, and then let's go through and erase the stuff that we don't need. Yeah. This makes it look like the spotted, horribly spotted. Okay, I want to take the hardness all the way down and decrease the size. This is just even higher. Would it be better if it was... Oop, that erased it all. That is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to just like erase some of it. Looks a little thick. Don't think it worked. Nope. There we go. Wow, now it's like fire and ice. And this man of darkness. Like, he looks like a titan of darkness. It's so cool. Okay, so if he is that, I like the idea of there just being like stuff sort of emanating out from this pit. Wow, this is getting very like high fantasy, dark lord of the island type stuff. Okay. But I want to use a different effect for him because I don't want him to look the same. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. Let's put it, is that, there it is. So I'll put it underneath that layer. And I'm gonna make it, I think a dark blue, but let's just do a color overlay on it. So it looks almost like a grayish black blue. And then we're gonna lower the opacity after. I like the idea, it almost looks like it's like oozing out. The decayed one. Or like the disgraced. No, he'd be called like the distracted one if he was a god. Why is this at only 80%? I want that at 100%. Ooh, I like the idea of it being layered. I like a layer, so let me do that again. And this time I'm gonna do it, I'll just grab my black, or so it's basic, and then put this above this. And let's also undo, put it above, and let's also make it smaller, so we're getting like a cool layered effect. Ooh. This inky blackness. Ooh, this is so spooky. We're getting very experimental with what geographical land looks like in this one. Go over top that whole thing. And then I think we will lower this opacity a little bit. And let's also color overlay, change it to, so we have the black crevasse, like the black crevasse? Is it obnoxious for me to say crevasse? And then, just like the idea of it being lighter. Ooh, that looks weird. Maybe this is the dark one and then the other one is the light one. Let's say that's there. And then let's take the other one, this one, and change that color overlay to be lighter. Make it like... still very much in that like almost blues to purples range. Ooh, that's a very pretty color. A bit more blue. Ooh, what the hell is that? What does that mean? What is in that area? Okay. And then definitely gotta go through and sharpen this up a little bit because it's getting a little funky around the borders here. Or around the... around this outside edge. So we gotta go through and erase. Are we on the right tool? We are. We'll go through and erase it so it's not covering any. Oh, I want the mountains to be above this. Maybe I just need to bring the mountains up. Yeah. Okay, that's better. Don't think I want it going across the river. I'm okay with it going across the rivers, but I don't want it to cover the rivers. Oop. I wonder if it's like just fog, some like thick, dense smog that's covering the land. Some distracting infection. Anyone who wanders into the mists just completely loses track of what they were supposed to be going. They're seduced by some wild thing out there. Just the opportunities of whatever else there is. Just the idea of the other beyond the mists. That's spooky. I like that. Be very careful following these little rivers. Clear off that other layer. Make it smaller, so we're really not over clipping it. I feel like whenever I do the random challenges, or not the random challenges, but like the shape-based challenge, the map always ends up looking bonkers. Just, it's always so colorful. But I don't mind. I like a colorful map. I feel like sometimes maps, they can get a little gray, and I want them to, I like color. Because that's going to help your players understand what's going on. It's going to help you understand what's going on. Ooh, okay. I think we've gotten to the point where, well, I think I want to add like forests into this. I think it's a cool way to do it. So let me take these two layers. I want to lower the opacity. Oh, that one's already at 60. Okay, so let's just take this one down to 62. 60 as well, I should say. Nice, okay. And then I want to add another layer of forests that's kind of within them. Let's go ahead and add a color layer, color overlay, and I'm going to make it like a very dark green. It's like a cursed forest. Then I will grab my handy dandy Star Raven brush back down here. Or it could be a swamp. I haven't done a swamp. I like the idea of it being a swamp. So it's swamps. And we'll say it's maybe swampy. Kind of maybe the, like, mainly under the purple, but kind of spilling out from it as well. I feel like I'm gonna have to put this stuff underneath the purple layers for it to look good. Otherwise it's popping a little strange. Yeah, it's this like supernatural corrupting mist that like erases, like modifies your memory. And also because of it, there's this, because it's all wet and foggy and just overcast all the time because of this heavy fog, there's like, the humidity is very high, so it's like cold and humid, and that's why these plants are, you know, it's a bog that's grown up because of it. I like it a lot. a lot of trimming on this, but that's okay. I've completely missed a spot, so I think I'm gonna have to go through and erase this chunk and redo that part. There we go. And then let's move this to underneath our fog. I did the wrong thing. No, I did the right thing. Okay, that looks all right. I think I moved that as well, and oh! Edit, undo move layer. Don't know what I did there. Redo brush tool. Okay. Is it in this icons layer? Is that what I've done wrong? No, where is it? It's right there. Okay, layer 8. That's what I need to move. See why you gotta layer labels? Label, 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 and I'm not doing it. Okay. To zoom in and erase some stuff. The most exciting part. Oh, I see what happened. I accidentally put it into this one. Is that what happened here? Yeah. No. Huh, okay. No, 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 what happened? There we go. Weird. Now let's make this a little bit sharper. Probably a lot sharper, actually. Because we don't want it to catch in overhangs. I want to put it under these rivers too, because what's in here that we need? We don't need anything in there. Let's just move that somewhere. Get out of here. Let's move that up here. Let's get rid of that for a moment. And then I want to put this under the rivers. There we go. That's way better. Ah! Didn't mean to erase my river, though. I think it definitely cuts off at this river here. The bog does not go beyond the river. I love that we've come up with a concept that is faithful to the meme of it being like a distracting, modifying memory mist, but also very spooky. The idea of this disgraced god that fell and from his body this horrifying fog emanates. Let's make this smaller and let's clear off our mountains. And I think once we clear off the mountains, I might do some labeling, but name some stuff. I do think we're definitely only going to get to one meme this evening, but if y'all like this concept, I could always do it again. There's plenty of memes out there in the world. Too many, probably, or not enough. Here. Zooming right along. Okay, well, I want it. Maybe I just throw this underneath everything because it is like on top of my mountains and I don't want it on top of my mountains. I see no reason not to just throw it at the bottom here and then it's at least underneath everything. My mountains are not looking correct me. Ah, their opacity is lowered. That's better. That looks way better. I was like, what is going on here? Why am I seeing everything through them? I don't remember doing that. At least I don't think it was intentional. Probably just a misclick at some point. That river's honestly fine. I don't mind that it's crossing over like that because it's just little plants and bits and bobs, so it doesn't really make a difference to me. Let's make this brush bigger since we're getting through this wider swath. Nice. Okay. Zooming out. I kind of want even a wider haze across all of this. So I think I'm going to do one more layer of this. And I'm going to copy these layer styles, and I'm going to paste those layer styles. And I'm going to get that same old tool. Maybe I do a different one to like add another layer because we did drippy water. What if we do this one? I don't know about that. That's that. This would need to come way up. This needs to be like right. Yeah, it needs to be like right underneath that one. It's just too, it looks too linear. I don't think it would do what I want it to. Yeah. Let's erase it. Let's do this one. And maybe it's just the drippy water. What other options do we have? We have drippy water. This line texture. We have this dual color texture. That's what we used on the icy wastes. I like the drippy. I think it looks cohesive. We're just gonna have to make sure it doesn't get. Let's make this really big. This is kind of like the billowing wide clouds. Maybe too big? Yeah. Smaller than that. Yeah, 100. No, let's do 150. Yeah, that looks like a nice fog. You know what we could also do? Undo, undo. Sorry to undo it again. I want to do this more like scattered, where I just kind of click it in. Then it's less dense, it's adding another texture, another layer to this fog. Obviously it's not going to be green. Just need a second to get this in here. Definitely lower the opacity. I think this one's probably going to be the lowest opacity of all of them. And then let's drop this down to like, oh yeah, like 25, okay. And then color overlay. Let's take that into our blues again. Ooh, I really like that actually. That's dark, dark, dark color. Oop, I went to green. Okay, yeah, that looks nice. Ooh, yeah, that like looks like a really nice misty fog across the whole area. Cool. Okay, so I now just want to go in and dress up that stuff, erase what I don't need. It's my edges. Cover the areas that wouldn't have it. Got a little bit of an overhang here on that layer. Nope, the other one. This is why you gotta label your layers. There we go. Kind of want to give this one that I just made like an outer glow or something, or a drop shadow. Because I look kind of trippy with a drop shadow, I feel like. Ooh, ooh. Does give it like a weird. Let's give it like a big spread. Nice. Okay, and then I'm also gonna give it an inner glow, I think, to create weird spots of light, and let's make it like a strange, like bright green, so it looks real trippy. Ooh, yeah, it looks really iridescent now. I think I'm gonna add that effect onto something else too. Let's do that, and then I'm gonna grab this one too, that inner glow. That weird green. Don't want it to really chip, but I do want it. Ooh, this is so pretty now. It's like a glowing little mist. I'm gonna add it on that one too. Inner glow. Ooh, that's softening it up really nicely. Actually, I like that. Don't really care about the noise. Okay, there we go. Ooh, that looks so weird. What a weird place I've made. Okay. Let's get rid of this background finally and see. I mean, it does just kind of look the same, honestly. I wonder if there's a way to kind of mess with that to make it less human looking, or like, I feel like there needs to be some filling in going on. Maybe if we lower the opacity of these biomes. We are making, hello Levi, welcome. We're making a meme into a map. So we took this and then we transformed it into this. So it looks like very strange, and the current lore is that it's 3 like titans or gods that bodies became these different lands, and this is like known as like the distracted one, and he has this, the land there emanates this weird memory modifying mist that makes you forget why you even traveled there. Yeah. And then this one's like hot, because it's hot. It's the hot one, according to the meme. I'm not saying that, but this one's got like the lava flats and like this dry, parched, arid land, and then this one is like an icy glacier area. But I feel like I want something else up in like this area. I think I also need to, the biomes are throwing me off. They're too strong. What if I lowered them? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I need some more stuff. This area feels very blank now. I could certainly add in some like additional hills and such. Like there would be like maybe a crevasse here because it's under her chin. Or he's got his forehead rimples because he's like doing the wrinkles. He's doing the extreme face. Let me add some of those on. Where are my mountains? My mountains. Let's grab some of those hills we were using earlier. Could also add in some like towns and stuff, but I don't even know. I feel like that would help break it up though if I added in some people places. Yeah, that's the one I want. He's got the big forehead wrinkles. Nice. I'll grab a smaller one too. No, not that one. That one. Extend it off these ways more organically. Oop, we zoomed wrong. We gotta put something on his mouth. That was the other one. We gotta figure out something to put there. The big perched, what is it called? Pursed lips? That looks like little lips. That looks very silly. She's got like, this one too, because she's got the like underlip of like pursed, not pursed, or sort of like coming up like that. Oh, it's so expressive. Maybe if it was bigger, I'd like it. No, maybe not. Maybe that's the one I just used. Their little faces. Like that. She does have like, I feel like there could be some sort of ravine here. Maybe it's a lake. Maybe I just fill it in with a nice little lake. Let me go back down to my rivers tab. Get a nice round brush. Shrink it. Fill in that area the clavicle would fill. That adds a little something something there. It's really just her. I feel like this area, she just doesn't have too much going on under her. She looks very like, I don't know, washed out is the word for a person made of stone and rock. This person, I'm gonna give them a little lake here too, to accent the chin. So just absolutely astonished and disappointed. I think I'm gonna bring her hair in more, because I feel like it would be okay if it was like into here, and I think that's maybe where it's lacking. So let me go back up to my forest tab, or down to my forest tab. Maybe, you know what it is? Maybe I do it in grasslands. It kind of like comes in a little bit more. What am I doing? What am I doing? Just get some trees. Tree block. Make it a little bit smaller. And we're gonna fill it in a little bit. Ooh, this is gonna be a little tricky actually. Wait a minute, let's undo that. Maybe it's gotta be individual trees I bring it in with. Jungle plants, jungle trees. Let's get our regular trees. Okay, yep. Because it feels like her forehead is just a little bit high. We can make her head maybe a little bit more heart-shaped. I know that's not necessarily accurate. Grab some of these other trees. One of these nice double trees. Wrong. Okay, there we go. Keep adding in little groups of 3. have one more single tree right here. And then I think if I get my little just hard round to sort of fill in the background here with the little scratch marks to make it blend a little bit more with where the forest is on the side. Okay. Oh, okay, that looks a little bit better. She's not as empty. She has a little bit of an extreme widow's peak, but I'm not going to be mad about it. Honestly, I think that's all I'd want to do on this map. Which, with... Ooh, I don't know if you're hearing stuff in the background. Sorry, there's people over here rehearsing for a play right now, so there might be some enthusiastic yelling in the background. I'm not sure if you can hear that. Just imagine they're cheering for me in this very good map. I feel like let's throw a couple towns on there just because it'll be fun. Just to have some things. Cities, city labels, city icons, there we go. Now the question is, where would the seats of power be? Let's just get like the big capital of each, or like the major town or two of each one. Let's grab, okay. Let's grab, I'm not gonna decide, I'm just gonna pick. Okay, so we got this guy. Ooh, this is a great one. Okay, so let's say this is hers. Where does that sit? It would make sense for it to be right there. Now, if we're imagining each of these hexes is a 10-mile hex? Let's say this is a 10-mile hex square, or a 10-mile scale. So let's take this down a little bit. Make it maybe a little bit bigger than that. Need it filling that whole area. What did I do? What did I do? Uh-oh. Why doesn't it want to show up? Oh, because it's invisible. Gotta turn off my labels. I really did turn on too many things there. Okay. There we go. Let's go ahead and erase these things we do not need right now. And back to our tool. Sort of sitting, it would also make sense here because it's right in between all these different water sources. So a lot of cities back in, used to sit on cities, and still a lot of them to this day still sit on water because it's just easier to access many different places. Okay, so we have that. Let's go ahead and grab another one at random. That one. Okay. Let's put this one also on her. Let's put it like maybe right here in the forehead. That feels too symmetrical. Let's back it up. There's got to be one, like maybe a fortress down here in this area. Yeah, let's put it like right here. It's like a fortress in the midst of this wilderness. And then let's grab a random one for him. La 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 la. How about that one? What's this one look like? Okay, this is like a big old citadel. Does it sit at the lips? Could sit at the lips. I feel like that's like the most iconic part of this image. I feel like we'd be remiss. Why won't you let me zoom in here? Oh, because I'm selecting the wrong thing. Nice. Okay, I also want to kind of add, I used to have a red outline on these. So if I go in and I'll go ahead and stroke, and I'm going to make this like that maroon color. Oof. Don't know if I like that actually. Let's make it a brighter red. So it pops off the map. I used to have it opposite, so let's do this as a color overlay actually, and let's make this red. Go like that. And then we'll do the outer stroke as 1 point. We'll do that in black. It's a little trippy. It's a little unhappy at me that I did that. Oh, well, bevel and emboss would be why. Okay, that looks a little bit better. That like helps it pop off the map. Nice. Okay. So he's got his little lips, and then of course he's got to have like some dark lands settlement. Let's do, what's that one? Okay. Maybe more of like an outpost. Let's put that up on one of these high mountains near the rift. Let's put it down to 140. Yeah, I like that. I like the idea of it being right at the apex of the rift. Whatever Dark Lord is over this land, definitely ruling from there. She would have a couple too. Let's take, what's this one? Did we already use this one? No, okay. No, let's use this one. Down at 100. What's the best spot for it though? I think maybe just like right here, or maybe on the neck. I feel like, where's she holding her expression? Right by her mouth, really. So I guess it could be like right on that cheek between those two lakes. Right there. Yeah. Let's grab one of these. Now we've grabbed most of these at some point. I don't think we've used this one. Let's see. No, we did. Let's grab a different one. Let's grab this tower. That's cool. So it's almost more like a citadel out in the frosted, the cold shoulders. There'd probably be some pun in there about that. So we got those. Let's go ahead and add in some towns too. So we'll get some smaller settlements. These. Let's put these at like 60 so they are a little bit easier to see. I'll drop a couple of these in there. There'd definitely be one just on the border of the wastes. And maybe one here. There, right there. I think that makes sense. One right there. Maybe it's like a coastal town actually over this way. Let's put one of these here. I'll go and add some more of these too. Maybe the one in the ear right there. There's a couple of them like lost down in the mires here. Definitely one right between those two rivers because that's such a convenient place to have. Little town right between rivers so I can access a bunch of different places. Let's go ahead and grab a different symbol. That one's fun. Let's put that up to, which one is this? That's actually a little bit more complicated. Let's choose a simpler one. Just so we have a couple different looks for these smaller towns. Ooh, this one's nice. It's like a rolling hills, like a little farmland. I think there'd be farmland up there. Maybe one down here on this river. And then one over this way. One down on the coast here. Let's put one on this coast actually. And then maybe this is like a village of icebreakers. The mouth, yeah, the little out on the ice sheets. Okay. Now I want to add in my roads, because why not? I think we'll just spend the last couple minutes here, like, labeling, adding a couple roads to show things like that, and then we'll call it a day. So let's go ahead and, we have... Do you want that one? Oop. I'm not going to go through naming all the mountains and such today. There's too many things to name. But we will give it an overall name, and then name the different major ones. You know what? Let's also name the capitals. So we'll name the capitals too. I think that's enough to be getting on with. Okay, and let's also throw on we always need to have a nice not compass. My brain has turned off. This guy. Put it over here, I guess. Make him a little bit smaller. Nice. Okay. And then put it over here. I do not know what it's going to be called yet, but we'll figure that out. And then let's name... So this one would be named after, like... Distracts. I like that. You know, fantasy. Change out your sounds. Change out your sounds for stuff. That's the real secret to writing fantasy. Just throw an apostrophe in, change out an X for a K. You're golden. Let's duplicate that. Let's go ahead and duplicate it twice because we're gonna need to. So this is distracts. I'm gonna go ahead and put this at an angle so it's like indicating more of the land than just a particular area. Nice. I want to say this is like Scorn with a K, because that's fantasy. There we go. Fantasy hacks. Just change out a letter, and it's new now. It seems cool. A lot of my fantasy naming is just word association and thanks for coming by. Have a good rest of your evening. Just word association and synonyms and chopping words together until they sound like new words. And then this one, she's like the other woman, and she's like hot. And that's like the two things we know about this poor divine creature, also meme woman. Other like, I think like otro in Spanish, and like otro. I think it looks possibly more effective written than it sounds, but I'm gonna go with it because my goodness, if we spend all day trying to figure out a perfect name, we'll be here all night. That seems like a nice angle. Drop it down here. Oh, and then let's just name the capitals, maybe? Oh, we gotta name the main one. Ooh, okay, so this is a meme land. It's about, what's it called? Like a lover's triangle, or like a lover's quarrel. I feel like there's gotta be meme. Meme. I'm just gonna keep saying the word meme until something more clever comes to me. What are words for like peninsula? We already did archipelago, so peninsula, memensulas, the how do you spell peninsula? that's not right. Memensula. Sula. Yeah, Memensulas. Memensulas. I like it. That's very dramatic. That sounds fantasy for me, and I'm happy with it. It's looking a little gritty on the sides. I wonder if that's just because we're zoomed out. Honestly, I feel like it would look a little bit better if it was bolded. Let me see if I can bold that real fast. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. I think it's also just zooming out. I like it. I don't know if I want this one. I'll go ahead and get rid of that for today. But I will, I think, name some of the water just so it has some fullness in that area too. Let me close all this. Which one did I not need? I didn't need that one. Society labels, nature labels. I don't want to do all the volcanoes and stuff, but I will label some oceans. So let's call this one Desiree or Desire Bay, because that, you know, that works. You know, it's all about like that's how he's looking in her direction with desire. And then obviously we'll, you know, do something just as simplistic for the other one. Let's call this one neglect? No, that's too sad. Yeah, maybe neglect. That's a no, call it neglect. Just to make it sound a little bit different. Neglect. Gotta move. The title of this land is a little too close to this one, so let's maybe move that over here. Move that up here for her. This is very silly looking. And then the way she's looking, I feel like there should also be another one because she's just oblivious. No, I don't want to duplicate all of them. Cancel. Let's just make this one something talking about how she's just like oblivious but also blissful, so like oblivious. That actually sounds very cool. Oblivious. Sure, why not? Oblivious ocean. Because she's, you know, it's not between two things. I'll spin that around the other way. Nice. Hey, we got that. I kind of want to name these different realms. That's I swear it's the last thing I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and grab our nature labels. There we go. And let's call this little, this little red dress is what she's wearing. So like little dress waists. Little red dress waists. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Possibly too big. Let's drop it down to 48. Nice. And then let's copy and where's that other one we had? There we go. Ooh, that's not what we meant to grab. For her, it's like the frigid... Heath? Frigid Heath? Heath is a word, right? Let's double check. I believe it is, and I believe it is. Area of uncultivated land. Perfect. That's what we were looking for. The frigid heath. Let's make that 48. And you know what? Yeah, let's just... that. Honestly, that works for me right where it is. And then what do we call him now? Here, let's duplicate that layer. And let's slide it on over. Oop, other one. So it's a fog. And it messes with your memory. I feel like it would be like lost or lust. Loused fog. Sure. It's got a little bit of both. Loused fogs, I guess, because it's, I guess, multiple things. Okay. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, awesome. Oh my gosh, this is so silly looking. I am so happy with how this turned out. Let's go back. Let's do a big reveal. Everyone close your eyes. Pretend you don't see this. The original meme. The final product. Now, I think you could get maybe 10 whole seconds into a campaign before your players realized this is just a meme that you've turned into a map. But there's enough going on here that you could, you know, who says a meme can't be a map? I says it can. And I think I would absolutely set a story here. Like, it is so inspirational. It's very silly, but at the same time, my mind gets going about the idea of like these three titans or gods that their bodies formed the main peninsulas, and their discord is what created like the corruption of the land, and that has fed on and on down through the generations of humans living there. And I can think of a good few adventures I'd want to set here. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But regardless of whether or not you'd want to use it for one of your own campaigns, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Talking XP with the Map Maven. Please consider subscribing to the channel on Twitch and YouTube, join our Discord, and share it with your friends. You can find us at social media at Talking XP. I am on Twitter at Ellen_Boner, so you can find me there. We also have an ongoing Curse of Strahd stream on Mondays at 7:30 p.m. Pacific. You can catch it as a podcast as well, anywhere you find podcasts. I will be there playing the morally grey artificer, Beatrice LeBeau. And of course, Map Maven will be back next week. We are now going to be on Wednesday nights at this time, so we're going to be at 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. You can also check for updates via my Twitter or the Talking XP Twitter. That's where you'll find us. And next week, we are going to be doing lucky draws. So we're back to our random maps generator, but this time we're going to be doing it in Dungeon Draft instead of in Photoshop, which is what we did last time. So I hope to see you guys all there. But until then, please just bring a map so you don't get lost, and have a great rest of your night. Okay, bye everyone. Safe travels.